So welcome to the Node Next 10 meeting for September 21st, 2022. We'll follow the agenda in the issue that was created in the repo, which was issue number 162. I'm just going to, here's the issue. If people could add themselves to the minutes, which I'll paste in the chat, that would be great. I'm going to do that myself before I get started. Okay, so the first thing we have on the agenda is number 159, which is planned for the collaborator session in Dublin, which is probably the most important thing to do for sure. Let's see what we put there. So I guess the one question we had is what kind of easy retro tool we should use, or because I think the idea is we start with sort of the brainstorm like we did early on as sort of some white space and then go back and look at that against what we had before. So any suggestions or?
I think we can keep easy retro like last year, I think.
I'm just taking a look, seeing if it's okay. So it's right. It used to be fun retro.
Now it's called easy retro.
Yep.
Yeah, it's now easy retro. I'm just looking for. Okay, so we can have one. It says public boards per month, so 3 public boards. So I think. Let me just see here. Just making sure we can. Sign up and. Email not verified. Okay, hold on. Let me just verify my email. And where's that other email? Okay. Sorry. And then maybe we can. Okay, now, oops. So I'm just trying to see that it's actually verified. Okay, so I got an error. Okay, well, I seem to I'm able to log in now. So let's just. We could spend a few minutes actually creating the.
Maybe share your screen so that we can see.
That's what I was just doing.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Email still not verified. What the? I'm trying this again. Sorry. Box. Okay, now it seems to be verified. Okay. Okay, so this is next. Right. So what? Trying to remember what we had
Last time we had one with 3 columns, but I think we can add 4. It's not really an issue, but don't know what's the key feature between them. I think we did use the first one.
Okay, so let me. Okay, don't necessarily want what went well. Let's just create it and see if we can edit it. Right, okay, so,
For us, last year, the three, let's say, title were first one, key focus area.
okay,
Second one were obstacle and barriers. And the third one was working well.
right, okay. Because I'm just trying to think how we like, in the end, we came up with like the technical priorities, so maybe there was several boards. Let me see if I can find the,
Yeah, I just put the link from an email from last year in the chat just right now. I
okay,
was looking for it.
thanks. Right, it's. See, this seems like definitely one of the ones we did and probably worth doing again. There's probably another one though on the key technical areas.
Yeah, let me find it. I also do have the link for this one.
Okay,
So this one, it was the first thing, the image was the one we use for collaborator, contributor, or let's say people working in Node.js.
mhm.
And where is the other one? I do have it somewhere. And yep, this one, I think. And I think it's this one we use for the community.
Right, okay. So I think because that was the one I was thinking, but I think both of them are probably a good idea. Like
Yes,
part of
because
it is to revalidate the technology, like the top technical priorities. But I think also like this one is more like the overall as well, right? So let me create that other one.
yes, and the big difference between the two is the one for the community. We were really into trying to figure out every technology key area that were needed for, let's say, the user to be able to develop and in which kind of environment and how we can improve that.
Right.
And the other one was really focused on how we can ensure, let's say, the success of a project driven by the community in terms of not really, I don't think we do have a lot of technology inside, but more on how we can continue to work with and involve more people and bring.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't think we do have a lot of, yeah, on the contributing part, it's really about how are we able to contribute together to the success of Node.js. I don't think we have anything around we need to bring something from V8 or something else. It's really, everything is around collaborator, leadership, time zone, stuff like that. So
Yeah. So if we got that one, so I'm gonna, this one, I think then, so if we got here, we said next, and
You have a small typo there. Brainstorm.
a brainstorm. Okay. Nope. Right, so this one we had.
yeah, it's this one.
Technology
Technology
trends. Technology trends.
Second one is Node.js features.
Okay, Node.js features. And other, okay,
Other.
yeah. Okay, so if I go, can I actually fix this? Okay, now I want to change the title here. Okay, this is community.
You also have a small typo there with public.
Yep. Okay, this time I save that. So if we go here. Okay, so let's grab the links to these ones. And all right. So which one did I just? I think I want to go back to the, okay, can I? So my first thought is maybe we should start with the technical priorities, just because the community one could last longer, I think. Does that make sense for to people?
Yeah.
And then so if we go there, then we'll creating. I'm just thinking of different things we could talk about. You know, if there's things that I should add or.
Maybe just on your message, I didn't so maybe add what was the result last year, so it can bring some idea to people.
Sure. So let me just put the. Copying these. So sorry, add where to what?
For the Easy Retro, you gave the link for the new one. Maybe just have a link to the one from last year, so maybe people will be able to see or to put again something they added last year.
Okay. Let me. It's almost like we want a little bit of, but yeah, here, let me, okay, so this is like for this year.
Well, yeah, and something like last year result or last year survey.
Last year results. Do you have the, so yeah, you pasted the links in
I pasted both.
on the chat there. So this, which is the
I
first or second one? I guess the second
Yeah,
one.
it's the second one. Yeah. It's the one which is a true easy retro link, and I think the other one for the community, it's image.
Okay. Now- So we can put this in our somewhere, but once we get it, so basically the agenda, technical priority brainstorm, community brainstorm, view technical priorities against the past list. Have constituencies changed? That we already covered. What else should we have on the agenda?
One generic conversation I think we had in the past, but I think it's always a relevant one, is trying to just basically plan how to actually get all these ideas and plans in action, right? Like how to translate these to the rest of the collaborators. And yeah, I see. Yeah, I believe like it's becoming more and more important. Like I have the feeling we onboarded a lot more folks this year than the previous years, and like so I think communication within the project like is becoming more and more of an important issue.
Right, okay. So like
Right, because yeah, I mentioned it in the past, but I'm always afraid like we're doing all this work, having all these ideas, and nobody bothers to check out, and like
right.
and things just continue to grow organically. Like folks work on whatever they want to work, and like yeah, so I think it's an important topic to always like.
So is it like general communication within the project or specifically like evangelization of the next 10 priorities and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'd say both. Like there is the generic like communication, but yeah, like kind of trying to evangelize all these topics we're discussing to the other collaborators and try to
Right.
steer like maybe there are a lot of folks like just wanting to find interesting areas to work on, so if we can steer them into like the
Right.
actual priorities we delineate.
So maybe it's like
I think it was one of the topic which was raised on the community brainstorm last year. Around that, if I check it quickly, it was one of the issue about we did one part about attracting new collaborator, and I think we were quite successful this year. But one key topic was also to engage and help people wanting to collaborate, to help and to find how they can help. So I think it's something which is a bit linked to what you said, just sorry.
Yeah, I think like it's kind of part of it, right? Part of the communication.
Yeah. We also have another point with more communication about initiative.
so should I add something else to that section? Does that capture what you were thinking, or did I write something different down?
I believe this captures 100% of what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Particularly the first point there, communicating, sharing priorities
Right.
with collaborators. I think that
Yeah, I just added the second one because I think it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's good if they know about it, but we got to make sure that they feel like they could pick it up. I'm pretty happy actually with, like, for example, the SEA stuff. The whole new team is formed. There's lots of discussion and conversation going on. So the more we can sort of replicate that, where we had some good discussions on a particular topic, and then some people who may have had a long-standing interest in it, but maybe didn't, know how to get the project engaged, are now much more active in a project within, a repo that we have, and lots of good discussions. So.
I also think that one's partially like there's a company who wants this for their product and they're investing time, energy, and money into it. And so you're talking about the single node executable?
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think that's also a big factor there, that isn't necessarily like we did good in open source. It just, there was people who could invest that enough.
I obviously, I have a different opinion. I think like those people always had an interest. And I think the discussions help to bring them together and actually start, like, I think that having the discussions and having the mini summits brought the people together who were then like, hey, yeah, we can work together on this, and the project is interested. So, I mean, obviously, if nobody's interested, we can't really do anything, but we can hopefully help people who are interested feel like they can do something in the project.
Yep.
So it's yeah. Anything else that we should add to the agenda? Does this order seem reasonable to people? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lot. Do we have 1 or 2 hours? Because I think you asked for 2 hours, but on the agenda, I think I saw only 1 or 1:50 or 1:30.
Oh, I think there's one block of kind of an hour or an hour and a half, and then there's a second block in a parallel.
Yeah, the next 10 about documentation after that, I think.
Right.
Yeah, here I'm just gonna find.
Yeah, just click in any of them. I think, yeah, there's a comment like wallet is suspended, all the.
So that there were actually multiple. So the one which is covering what we're prepping for here, we have an hour and a half.
Right.
And then there was a separate one which was proposed, which was the documentation one. And then there is this other section time they gave us on the second room.
Oh, okay.
And my only comment was like, it's always hard. I wouldn't mind being in some of the other ones, like the community health analytics discussion.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like
personally.
Yeah,
I'm running the other two. I'm running the release and the tooling, so I won't be able to attend.
So that's where we might want to propose, like, I don't know if there's any. Yeah, it's really tough.
Yes, it's quite hard to find something. Yeah.
It's kind of like the release and tooling. I could probably, anyways, and one one of us is going to be involved in. So I think what I comment was, yeah, that may be a challenge, but I think the day of, we can see like how many people are there, how things are going, how much do we get through in the first session, and then decide if we want to try and, if there's enough people who are happy to miss some of the others, then we can try and do a carry on.
Yeah, because I was thinking 1 hour for the documentation part, I think it will be quite fast. So maybe we can try to have the technical priorities and have the full time with the documentation, and move the documentation to another date or on the afternoon on the room 2, something like that.
Okay, so if you wanted to propose something like that.
I will write that, yeah.
I mean, this one, I was kind of like trying to organize, so here. Like, I think if we organize the agenda into things where we think it's most important to get a broader collaborator input. So I think we should definitely do the brainstorms right up front, right? And then we can talk about like, what would be our next most useful thing after those two in terms of discussion with the larger group.
I think we can communicate about the survey like 2 days or this week and let it run for the next 10-ish day. This way we will have result and just discuss about the already result we do have.
I see. So you're asking, suggesting that people start to fill out the brainstorm in advance. Yeah, that's actually a good, interesting idea.
Yeah, this way we will have feedback from also from people which won't be able to attend the Collaborator Summit. So I know we will be here, Rui, Michael, and myself. Tierney, I don't. Yeah, you will also.
I'll be there.
I think there is also people in the US that are not coming in Europe for that, so it could be great to have some feedback. I know Wes is not coming, for example, or stuff like that. So
yeah, no, that's okay.
No,
so
great idea.
Yeah. Okay. Like that's why I think like the review of the technical priorities that we could do afterwards, right? We have the brainstorm, and then if we have time, we can start to take a look at it and see how that thinks. But otherwise, we could do that as follow on. The constituencies changed, I think, is kind of a makes sense. Like if we have time, kind of thing.
And I think I heard someone saying, I don't know if it was the last collaborator summit, but talking about how it's much better to actually do brainstorming like that, let people come with the ideas beforehand, because they might be just steered and influenced. Like when you're trying to have ideas on the spot, like everybody will kind of try to converge into the same ideas. Like they will try to, there's like a group effect of like you start to just like maybe not proposing some idea because you're there on the spot. So it's actually a great idea.
Yeah, and I like I think if we add things, I think if they're added, they won't be viewed, they won't be seen. Like if you can go to that link and see if you see that, or is it shaded out?
Where?
Which link, Michael?
This one right here to the actual board itself. Let me put it into the chat.
Thanks.
yeah, I see one.
Okay, so I want to change these settings.
Yeah, I could also move it without being logged in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sounds right. Okay, I'm going to go and change the other one too. Because I think we want. Here's the other one to go to.
Yeah, it's mine. Yeah, okay. Should we also? I don't know what the default limit on upvote. Should we add a limit? I think it's 5 per default or something like that.
I think the default is 6, it says.
It's 6, okay.
Does that seem reasonable?
I think so.
Okay.
And we can change it because we won't reveal every value before the brainstorming. So if needed, we can update it on Saturday morning, something like that.
Yeah, like the voting. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to delete these. Delete card. Just delete it. And I'll go back to delete mine. Okay. Right. Okay. So now where is? Sorry. Okay, so I think like actions is going to be like share links for easy retro boards. Ask collaborators to start filling in. Do we have any volunteers to do that?
Is it something special or just tagging at Node.js?
I think yeah, I guess we could like at Node.js probably needs a good comment, right? Like,
Yeah, it can be a specialist issue with action, asking for feedback, something like that. You just put the link and you tag everyone in Node.js.
right. Yeah, it's a good question. Like, is that the best way to ask people to fill it out? Seems most direct.
Just tag like at, I mean, could we just tag at Node.js/collaborators and like ask them to fill it out here?
Right. Like, it's almost like.
Or a post to the GitHub members. There's like this.
Oh yeah, that's members, not collaborators. Sorry. Yeah, at Node.js/members.
Yeah. I always forgot. Is there a name to that kind of like page on GitHub?
It's technically a team. Oh, you're talking about that
Right.
team. I would honestly like nobody looks at that. Or at least I've not ever seen someone say they do. I would just tag that team here.
Right.
And do members, not collaborators, I think.
Maybe do both. Maybe do both. But I see like 'cause I know like the collaborator summit like post like there's a
Yeah.
thread in that team's page. Like it got some traction. Like it got like a bunch of reactions. Like
If you tag members, every team in Node is a subgroup of members, so that will tag every single person in the org, or it should.
Right.
If it doesn't, something's broken.
But basically, you're saying like, we could at Node.js collaborators this comment. Does that seem like a?
Yes, but I would hold on. Can you scroll up, or is there what's the request there? I would have a specific request, and I would also change it from collaborators to members. So like for the specific request,
Like that?
yes, I believe that's the team. Let me double check, but for the specific request part, like what do we want these people to do with this? Do we want them to add stuff? Do we want them to delete stuff? Do we want them to upvote stuff? Just make sure we have like a specific question or request from that. Yes. Let me make sure I get you the team name correctly. If you're a member of a so it has 0 members, but oh no, never mind. The members are transitive. Okay, yeah, that should work.
So does that? I wish it would give me a little bit bigger window, but
You can drag down under the scroll bar if that helps. The scroll bar on the right, there's a little like handle that you can drag.
oh, okay. I learned something new every day. There you go. So now you should be able to see the whole thing. Oops, that's not quite, I didn't quite get that right. Yeah, okay, so. Okay, there we go.
Cool.
And should we say we plan to reveal the, what do you call them, piles or cards,
Yeah, cards fine.
Saturday morning? Question is, like, before we actually organized a bunch of them, like similar ones together. But we couldn't do that if we're going to reveal all the votes in advance. But it still seems like it's a good idea to reveal the votes so people can add their votes even if they're not there, right?
Yes, and I don't remember if you merge two cards, doesn't it add also the bot? I'm not really sure about
I
that.
think it probably does, yeah. So okay, so that probably is fine. The other thing too is if we reveal them in advance, that means anybody who just shows up. It's kind of like, do we want to keep some time for people who are in the session? Like, do we want to have like 10 minutes where people could add their thoughts if they haven't already?
Yeah, we can keep it hidden for the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes if needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, why don't we then just say we'll be silent, like please fill them out, and then in the session we'll probably reveal them, give people some time to add because I suspect there'll be people who come but haven't necessarily thought about it before, so we can make sure we can get their input, and then we'll reveal them and can go through voting with the active people and go from there. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Everybody happy with this? Sure, it's like from all of us. Does that make that good? Should I push the button?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, and then I think the other thing is we should just grab this agenda, and put it into Summit. Okay. Anything else we should talk about in terms of the summit, or? No? Okay, I think that's good. So we can, thanks. That was definitely a good work, everybody. Let's go back to the minutes.
We took some notes there.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So the next issue then is visualization of technical priorities.
Didn't work on this one, so my
Okay,
bad.
so I'll say defer to next time.
And I just started to add, because for the example, yeah, documentation, the two-part, I think we will discuss that during the summit, so nothing really to be done. And I just started to add some question and some information for the next survey. So if we have like 10 minutes, we can maybe discuss a bit about it.
Okay, sounds good. So let's go there. Okay, come on. There we go. No, that's not it. This it. Next in survey, right? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think if you go mostly on the last message, I did do some check and some question we want to have, yeah, on. So yeah, on this one, I named it the community survey. So for people outside, which we had something like 2,000 people responding last year. And we all only had the 4 first question last year.
Yep.
I think it can be really interesting to keep them, as it helps us maybe discover some new constituency or new feedback, but also to add a lot, maybe not a lot more question, and we need to focus some part where mostly people are coming from, and also on what kind of projects they are working with Node.js could be a great feedback from the multiple working group on also, and link to the priorities. This way we know if a lot of people are interested about having a single binary, or if it's just the need of 10 people which are all member of Node.js.
Yeah, I think a question which is, which of the technical priorities do you identify with, or something like that, where they could just check off which ones are, which of these technical priorities are important to you?
And
Yeah,
also I wanted to add also a direct question for the user about recurrent issue with Node.js, as for us a key indicator on what would be some of the big pain points the community is facing.
Yep.
Yeah, if you had some more questions, we could be interesting, you can propose add them also.
Right.
But,
so the survey, so you said last year we just had the first 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From every information I was able to find and the feedback, it was the only 4 I was able to find.
Yeah, okay. That's quite possible that, yeah, we did yeah, and some of these are like demographics type stuff, right?
Yeah, and the last part I will maybe delete it because we just did that with a read 5 minutes ago, so I will delete that.
Right. So we might put in though, like, once we've got the, maybe once we update the technical priorities based on the discussion, or if they stay the same, like a revalidation of like, here's just a list.
I'm not sure, but I think last year we were able to block everyone from adding new cards and just allow them to vote, to upvote some of them.
Right. I think, but what I was wondering is like, because it was it would be very easy to take the list in, let me just get there. If we look at the list, right? Like if after we have the discussion, we update this list, just giving that list of like, check off which ones of these, because if sort of the collaborators have said these are the most important to us, then maybe it's like a sanity check to say, okay, for end users, which one of these are important to you?
Yeah.
And it would be easy to just have that list, check, 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 and you could have the link to here if you want to read more to this doc. I think last year we didn't have that, so maybe that's an easy way to do that. Right, and I think you almost have that up here, right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of next steps, I guess we put the survey out after the collaborator summit. And maybe the ask is for people to comment and discuss on the issue between now and then.
Would be great.
Okay.
On the issue, maybe it could be easier if I draft a PR with every question, so everyone would be able to just update or do something directly.
I think like a proposal, like here's your proposal for the survey questions. That would be good because then people could add or say, I don't like this question, or yes, I do this like question, or add in a question. That
it would be easier to comment.
Yeah. Did we have surveys? Right. Okay. So we could add a new survey.
Yeah, there was just a result from last year.
Yeah.
So it was a question, but we have also response from people.
Yeah. So yeah, I think like PRing into here, like it could be like a new directory and like a markdown version of the questions. That would actually be pretty good and easy.
Okay,
yeah. Okay. So. Anything more on that one we should discuss?
I think on this one, I add some feedback after your email to Robin and other people.
Yeah,
but that's all on my part, at least.
Okay. I think we're just waiting for when resources could help out with that. So no update, no update this week. I think this one. I don't think there's any update, but this is still like an active. We've got stuff that we can, concrete things we could do from the suitable type side of things. So it takes us to the end of the agenda. Anything else we should talk about this week before we close out?
No, I think everything good.
Yeah, that was a good working session. And I guess we'll see everybody in Dublin, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay, nice. See everybody later.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep, bye.
Bye-bye.